Right. This is the Samuel Leeds YouTube channel. I'm James Sinclair, and this is Samuel Leeds.
You're a crazy advocate.
Yeah, I'm a crazy advocate.
He's a crazy campaigner coming to Downing Street. Right now, we're at Downing Street.
That's where we are, right behind us.
He's sending letters to Boris Johnson, and you want to...
Why not?
Well,
you've got a problem with it, haven't you? You got to think, because he thinks I'm wasting my time, and I'm not wasting my time. I've come up with.
I only came here today because I love James, and I appreciate. He's a very wealthy man,
and we're going out for dinner.
We're going out for dinner, but I think the letter stuff's crazy, man. I mean,
well, Samuel thinks I'm wasting my time. I've come up with a 7-point plan to help business owners in the SME sector of the UK to soar to success, and I think there's things the governments can do to improve the chances of that happening. I don't know why you're not sending a letter. Why are you not doing it?
I'm not sending a letter. I'll tell you why. Because number one, I don't think Boris will read it.
He will.
He won't.
He will.
He won't.
Mate, how many letters have you wrote to politicians?
I haven't sent any.
I have.
You have?
And I've had replies back.
Yeah, but you haven't had any change. No one's done anything different.
No, because there's things that you, look, yeah.
Listen. Let me just give you my reasons. Number one, I don't think he'll read it. And if he does read it,
he knows me.
Number two is because I believe that as a property entrepreneur, I think that we create our own economy.
Absolutely, but I don't disagree with that,
No,
Samuel.
I know you don't disagree.
In fact, I'm like fully in the Samuel Leeds choir of creating your own economy.
But the thing is, right, I'd rather spend my time and energy going looking at a good property deal, going speaking to a good bank to get a better rate of lending. I
want to be the champion for entrepreneurs because I'm passionate about entrepreneurs, and that's why I do stuff like this.
Also, right, I actually think some of the changes that people are fighting, like the tax changes, Section 24, and all these changes, I actually like them.
Yeah, what, because it makes it that you don't have all the charlatans getting in? Is that why you're saying that?
Partly, but there's other reasons.
What?
Section 24, okay. Section 20.
Section what do you like about it?
I like the fact that everyone thinks that the tax changes are a bad thing, when actually, if you buy through a company, Section 20, I'm buying through a company. Listen, right?
I agree.
So, Section 24, why am I going to write to Boris and say, I don't like Section 24, when I actually love Section 24?
Because none of my letters are about property.
No, your letters are about business, but you're telling me I should write a letter to Boris about property, when actually, I am doing just fine.
Yeah, all right.
You know? I mean, the only thing that I actually...
When you become someone, and if you can start influencing change, you should do it. You have a responsibility to our country.
Yeah, but the thing is, right...
You're patriotic, aren't you? I know you are.
Yeah, I love Britain.
Yeah. Well, I love it, and that's why I'm doing this stuff.
All right, you know, I have no issues with your letter, okay? And if you want to watch James sending his letter on his channel, there'll be a link somewhere. You can check it out and you'll see it. I'm not saying you shouldn't.
He grilled me.
I did grill you, because here's what I think. I think that if you can change something, you should change it.
Yeah.
If you can't change it, then you should just shut up and get on with your business.
Do you know, I think, Samuel, if I set up my business when I'm older, I think I'm going to be ending up doing something in here. I'm just that passionate.
You know what? Maybe you're called to politics, and that's great. And like Donald
I want
Trump,
to help them.
Right? Donald Trump.
I don't really want to be I just want to advise them.
Listen.
Stupid decision.
Listen, Donald Trump, right? He loses a lot of money by being president of the United States, right? But he's doing it because it's a calling from within. I'm called from within. To train people and help them in property.
And I'm called from within to help business.
Maybe you're called from within to be a political leader or campaigner. These people that are holding these boards and flags, they are absolutely broke. Every single one of them has no money.
But that's their beliefs, isn't it, mate? They've got beliefs as well.
No. Because they should not be standing here. I mean, like, when something's voted in, like Brexit, it's vote, even if you don't agree with it.
I agree with that. We've wasted 3 years dealing with that. But people have got their own. That's what makes the world go round.
Yeah. I mean, for me, right, I don't really care about if different people have got different political perspectives around Brexit or whatever. I don't mind that. I think that the people that make the rules are the same people that make money in property.
Yeah.
And just figure out the rules, man.
Here's the thing about. In the UK, it's a brilliant place to invest, whether it's stocks and shares or property and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think it's easier than any other country in the world to make money from investments.
Probably.
But I'm being a business owner. There's things that the people behind us make decisions that are stopping businesses from growing.
Fine, man. I've already given you my green stamp.
But I'm also an investor of property as well.
Okay. So let's talk property.
Both of us have got Well, I know. I've got a multi-million-pound property portfolio, across residential and commercial. I know that you have too. I've never moaned about property investment. No. It's the people that want to employ people, the people that want to start businesses. It's much harder to be a business owner than a property investor.
I agree with that. I think property is...
I get annoyed that I've made most of my wealth today. I haven't realised from my businesses yet that I've made more wealth from property without employing people, without having any stress. You just buy a property, 10 years later, the bloody thing's doubled in value.
Absolutely, man.
You've had all of this rent, and you're just like, this is... How can this be easier than being a business owner?
You've got some pretty big businesses. Yeah. You've got like
450 staff, £12 million turnover, the full works,
and you still love property more?
I love property. I love business and I love property. I love both.
You know what I think as well?
I am a property business entrepreneur.
I love that. I love property more than anything.
You're a business owner as well.
I'm a business owner. I've got staff. I'm a business owner.
How many staff have you got now?
About 30. So serious? Well, it's seriously small, really. I mean, I don't want to have...
Mate, most people don't employ... Do you know, the harsh facts about 70% of businesses in the UK don't even pay VAT. 30% pay VAT. So if you're paying VAT as a business owner, you're in the top 30% in size of business.
All right, property then. What do you think of Boris coming in? Do you think it will have a positive or a negative, even though you're supposed to be asking me the questions? Positive or negative impact on property? Boris,
let me ask you, do you think Boris is going to have a positive or negative effect on property?
What do you think? You're the loudmouth around here.
I think it's going to be positive.
I do. Why do you think so?
Because his optimism, energy, he's centre-right wing, and he believes in investments. He wants to build more houses.
Jeremy Corbyn, if he'd have got in, although I say we create our own economy, if he'd have got in, I would have been a bit worried because...
I don't do politics, but I do worry about that man.
Yeah. I do, because when you start doing things like capping rents, like, it's just completely...
Every time you over-regulate an industry and put too many rules in, you destroy it.
Yeah. What do you think of Boris? Because Boris is trying to abolish the stamp duty, or at least bring it down, which is fantastic. You know this, right?
Yeah. Well, I think we should reduce stamp duty. It's a complete and utter farce. It's a rip-off. Yeah, I think we should reduce stamp duty. I think it's a complete and utter farce. It's a rip-off.
So on the business front,
well, and especially first-time buyers and people just starting out, why is it so high?
Tell us what's in this letter and what are you wanting to see?
Cut VAT, the archaic business rates can need complete and utter reform. Do you know, business rates are stopping physical locations, businesses setting up. People are going into a bigger warehouse, opening up coffee shops on high streets. That's stopping them taking action because it's so archaic and out of control.
Talk to me about Brexit. Do you think Boris will get us out in 3 months?
I think he's got more of a chance than Theresa May.
I think he will. Did you see his speech that he did?
He's a fabulous presenter and pulls people in. I think he's got his flaws, but haven't we all? I don't think he's a detailed person at all.
So if we leave Brexit in 3 months, what's going to happen to the property market in the UK?
Well, if it drops, I'll be buying. I'll even do some residential stuff again.
Really?
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I mean, look, mate, I'm sure you're the same. If property values drop, both of us will probably lose millions of pounds in terms of equity.
Yeah, but we don't care about that.
No, I don't care about it. You know, it's all about cash flow for me.
If properties drop big time, I'll be in negative equity, and I don't care.
No, because I want to buy. I never. Yeah, Brits. Like, I don't want people that are so obsessed in this country about what the value of their properties are, because they never bloody sell the things. The people that benefit are their kids. When they die, they sell the things and benefit from the money. Most Brits, you know, they value their wealth on what their property is worth, and that is just, I just never think about that.
What do you think it's all about? Cash flow?
Absolutely.
Cash is king.
Yeah, well, because you might as well, if you're a typical Brit and you never sell your property, what's it matter what it's worth? I'd be much. I always talk about rent roll. Yeah. That's the thing I want to boast about. What's your rent roll? And I'm like, damn, that's good. When people say, oh, I've got this much equity in my, oh, who cares? Yeah. But like a big rent roll, I'm like, hello.
I think that with rent roll. I think that with rent roll, even London. Even rent roll, it's not about rent roll, it's about cash flow, because like with a lot of my properties are HMOs, and I might have a high rent roll, but I've got to pay the bills and the council tax.
I know you're on 20% return on investment. That's your sort of
yeah.
I agree. And I also have this other rule that I use: 10% rent on total capital deployed.
Yeah.
So my money and bank's money. So if I'm buying something for £1 million, I need to get £100,000 a year rent, and then the 20% ROI combined. I try and get something that fits both.
So what you're saying is, we're here at Downing Street. If Brexit makes property prices go right down, actually, that's going to help with my buy low, rent high strategy. It's going to mean that you can get a higher ROI.
It's also going to help first-time buyers that actually want to buy their first properties.
But that's the thing. You know what? Rather than trying to change the rules, or campaign or change the economy, you're better off to say, what are the rules and how can I play the game to win? Because the same people that make the rules are the same people that make money most of the time anyway, in property specifically. So what are the rich people doing? What are the successful people doing? And if there's anyone rich in the country, if people say, oh, this doesn't work in America, this doesn't work in Africa, this doesn't work, well, are there rich people in Africa? Yes. Therefore, just do what they're doing. Unless they inherited it, do what they're doing and you can be rich. So whatever the economy's doing, wherever you're at, unless it's absolutely plagued or something, you can usually just learn the rules, be fluid, have a fluid strategy and make money.
The thing is, I don't know how you feel about this, Simon. This is a question I've got to ask you. I think entrepreneurialism and that is a DNA thing, which you have definitely got. Yeah,
but I don't agree actually. I think you can learn it.
There's a base talent. Now, I think you can learn to get better, but there's a base talent.
You can maybe
if you're a singer, for example, you can never make me sing well. Even if you give me the best singing teacher in the world, I haven't got that base talent. Now, if you've got some base talent, like David Beckham, base talent footballer, give him an Alex Ferguson and he becomes world class.
Yeah, I agree.
You've got base talent.
But here's what I think, right? I've got base talent and I learn and I work hard.
And
that's why we're very wealthy. Yeah. But I think that anybody, even if we've got no, but
absolutely
no, but
that's what I respect about you, mate. Is because you always ask me of, my opinion, and I always ask you of your opinion.
Yeah, you're doing well.
Not many people do that when they get to a certain level of success.
But here's the thing, right? Even if you've got no base talent, you can still, in my opinion, not become a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, that's not for everyone to
but you can become financially free.
Oh. I completely agree.
And that's what I teach.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
But some people, you wouldn't have a problem borrowing £10 million and sleeping at night, nor would I.
No.
Other people just can't get their head around borrowing. But other people might think, I can borrow £1 million and I'm okay with that. You've got different risk appetites, haven't you?
Yeah, but I think the economy is going to be good here. I think that, I know people are talking about leaving the EU as if it's going to mean that suddenly we shrivel and die.
I think it's pretty obvious. The EU won't be there in 30 to 40 years anyway.
Probably not.
It's not going to be there. It's just.
When was the EU established?
1970 something.
Right. Well, before that, we were still Great Britain, right? We were still doing all right.
We're doing really well. We need to be thinking global, not so European. And we need to be friends with our partners in Europe. But we need, India, China, Brazil, the South Americas, the South Africas. They're going to be the emerging economies, and we need to be involved with them.
So my argument would be then that writing letters is okay. I get why you've written your letter. We've put a link in the description about why you've written your letter.
Passionate about
I get that, but I think that you should spend your time and effort focusing on you and your business and your family, not watching the news, worrying about the politicians.
I'm not worried about them. I want to change from within.
I'm not talking about you, but I know so many broke-ass campaigners, so many poor people that they know everything. They know every time Donald Trump tweets, they read it. Every time they watch the news every day, and they're so broke because all that time and energy that they're spending complaining about the economy, they should be putting that effort into their own business.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Let us know your thoughts, man. What do you think of Boris Johnson? What do you think about Brexit? Do you think it's going to have a positive or a negative impact on property investing in the UK? Comment below. If you've got questions, drop them below as well. Check out my man James Sinclair, awesome guy, good friend. And don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you next time.
See you, gang.